I couldn't really tell if she was breathing or not. I couldn't see that she was breathing. They took her away so fast. Hey everybody, it's your girl Shani, and I am back again with another video. So on this video, as you can see by the title, this is my labor and delivery story. Excuse all of the funniness going on. I am recording on my old iPad, and yeah, my computer is broken. So, well, it's not broken. The charger, I don't have the charger. But I don't know why. A few of my Snapchat friends, because I Snapchat Naomi every day, almost, her and her dad every day, they just suggested that I should do my labor and delivery story, so that people will know. If you're new to my channel, I did a video on pre-eclampsia. I explain all of what that is and everything like that. That way, when I do this video, it'll be more understanding. So if you want to see that video, I will put that down below for you to go check that out to see exactly what it is. So at the end of my video, I had to go to the hospital that night. This is probably a week or two right before I had Naomi. And my blood pressure was pretty high, but it wasn't as high as the day I actually had to go in. So originally, I was supposed to deliver at 37 weeks. I ended up delivering at 36 weeks. Yep, 36 weeks exactly. Actually, I want to say it was 35 and 6. Somewhere in that ballpark. So I went into my regular doctor's appointment. I had to go to doctor's appointment 3 times a week, I believe. One was a non-stress test. One was a ultrasound once a week, and one was a regular doctor OB appointment. So I went in for my OB appointment on a Tuesday. Yeah, it was a Tuesday. And was it a Tuesday? No, actually, it was a Monday. I went into my OB appointment on a Monday, and as usual, they run your blood pressure, do your weight, and then you go and see the doctor. So when I got into the doctor's office, previously, me and my boyfriend, we were having a little debate about something within the baby or something like that, as usual. And so my energy was up really high. So I warned the nurse that was taking my blood pressure and everything that my heart rate or my blood pressure may be high, because we were having a discussion in the car. And she was like, okay. So she did my blood pressure, and she did my weight and my blood pressure. I picked up 10 pounds in less than a week, and that was something crazy. So she did my blood pressure. First, my blood pressure was, no, she did my blood pressure, and it was 190 over 130, I believe. And most people would think like, oh, that's crazy, and which it was. But in my point of view, I didn't know that that was bad, really. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like I was sick. I didn't feel like my blood pressure was high. And they were wondering why this was. I had no side effects of pre-eclampsia or anything like that, just the blood pressure. And I didn't have gestational diabetes or anything like that as well, just high blood pressure. So when I got into the doctor's office and I actually met with my doctor, she told me, based off my blood pressure, that she's going to admit me. I don't even have to go into triage, just because they want to go ahead and start my induction. So once I left the doctor's appointment, me, of course, I felt fine. I was driving. I thought nothing was wrong. I went and got me some food, because I knew that I would be at the hospital, or I knew that I would be being induced. And once you start labor, they don't want you to eat anything. So I went to Subway, and I got me a sub, and I went home, and I went ahead and I went ahead and packed up a bag, got her a few pair of clothes, and things like that. I should have had my bag ready, but because it was so much going on for the past few weeks, I didn't. Like, I was very upset that I didn't, but I didn't. So I decided to do it that day. So my doctor's appointment was at 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning. I think it was about 10. And I left the doctor's office around maybe like 12 o'clock, maybe a little bit before then. Mind you, like I said, I went to get something to eat and I went to pack my bag. And my doctor actually called me because she called the hospital first to see if I was there. And they told her I wasn't, of course. So she calls me and she's like, why aren't you at the hospital? I was like, well, I just wanted to go home and grab a few things. She was like, no, I need you to go to the hospital now. So not thinking anything is bad, I'm just relaxed. So we make our way there. We get to the hospital. And I'm thinking I have to go, through the whole process and everything. They had my room ready already. They had my nurse was just waiting on me, everything like that. And I didn't realize that the reason why all this was done was because the severity of me being induced at that moment. I was already dilated 1 centimeter that day. So it was pretty okay. But they went ahead and did the peel that they stick up your uterus. No, they stick up, I think, I don't know. They stick the peel up there and it's supposed to soften your cervix and help you dilate. Around 10 or 11 o'clock, I'm starting to get contractions and things like that. And the nurses are constantly checking on me, seeing if I'm dilated a little bit more or anything like that. So they bring the doctor in and the doctor checks and sees if I was dilated. I had not dilated anymore, but I was having contractions. And Naomi started having problems, I guess breathing or heart problems. Before my doctor even got there, they had to use this stuff called magnesium. This stuff felt like hell. Literally, when I say hell, it was hot. Like, you can feel it go from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. And it just feels like somebody is pouring hot water over your body. And I started just, oh my goodness, I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. And then they gave me something to stop the contractions. Now, at this point, my mom got a little crazy. They gave me something to stop the contractions. And it apparently makes your heart rate go fast or something like that. So they give this to me and my heart was pounding. I'm hot all over. My heart is pounding, so it started making it hard for me to breathe. My mom was sitting there relaxing, just chilling. But my mom completely freaked out. She was like, do not give her anything without telling me. And that was hilarious. So they called my doctor. Now at this time, it's about 1 in the morning, maybe a little bit past 12. I mean, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. She rushes to the hospital and she comes in and she's just like, well, we're about to have this baby. And they tell me I'm going to have an emergency C-section. I really, 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 really wanted to have a vaginal delivery. But because it was harming my baby, I definitely was like, do what we got to do. And my OB has been my OB since I was 14 years old. So she knows me very, very well. I guess that was the labor part. So around 1 o'clock when she got there, they got me prepped and everything. And they started, they shave you and all that stuff like that. So they started moving me to the emergency room or the operating room. And at this point, I'm just praying and I'm just scared because I'm like, I hope my baby's okay. I'm like, if anything happens to me, I don't care. I just want to make sure my baby's okay. Because the minute they tell me that her heart rate is lowering or dropping, it freaks me completely out. So once they get me into the delivery room, what they do in there is I already had a catheter placed inside me, so they didn't have to do that. But they give you basically like an epidural type shot. You have to get this shot into your back. But you also have to drink this nasty medicine stuff. And I hate liquid medicine. I'll pop pills all day, but I hate liquid medicine. So I had to take this medicine stuff, and then they gave me the stuff to numb me from basically, waist down or whatnot, or maybe right up underneath the boobs on down or something like that. But no, it was about waist down. Waist down, I get numbed, and I'm laying there, and then my boyfriend comes in, and he's just trying to comfort me. And actually, he didn't come in until after this. So as I'm laying there, they're telling me you might feel a little nauseous, basically, I guess, from them pressing on my stomach and how the medicine affects some people. So as they're cutting me open, my boyfriend is coming in. And so they started pushing on my stomach or whatnot, or cutting my stomach. I don't know what they were doing exactly, but I started just hurling, like throwing up, and it was just horrible. I guess that might have been the way that it pushed her out, because they let the baby come out by themselves. And she actually came out blue. This is what my boyfriend told me. I'm not really sure because I couldn't see, of course. But he said she came out blue, and they rushed her over to the table to get her prepped and everything. And then they had to call one of the pediatric surgeons or doctors or something like that, so that she can be rushed over to the NICU because she was not breathing well. And when I heard this and he told me, because everything was going on, they made him sit down next to me and just talk to me. And the whole time he was talking to me, I couldn't tell you anything that he told me at that moment, because the only thing that you want to see or hear is your baby's cry or your baby breathing. And I was just waiting and waiting, and I still couldn't see her. And so the doctor told me, she said they're getting her ready, because the whole time I'm just like, I just want to see my baby. Please let me see my baby. So my doctor, she's just like, okay, they're going to let you see. Just calm down. We need you to relax so we can get you together. Because, the OB, after they get the baby out, their focus is on making sure the mom is okay, which I completely understand. But as a mom, your job is to make sure your baby is okay. So they finally let me see her, and she was super yellow and a little bit blue still. And when I seen her, her lips were just trembling. I couldn't really tell if she was breathing or not. I couldn't see that she was breathing. They took her away so fast. And, I barely got to kiss her because I couldn't reach her. And like I said, they took her away so fast. And so after all of that was done, she was not with me. She was in the NICU, and they were working on her. And I was just, the whole time, I was just like, can someone tell me if my baby's doing okay? Because them sewing me up did not take that long, but if it literally felt like I was in there for an hour. She was born at 1:31 in the morning on July 25th, 2017. And I didn't get that first feeling of, oh my goodness, I'm my mom. It was just, oh my goodness, my baby. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want to hear anything. So because I was under magnesium, I went back into the room, and it takes healing a little bit longer, and it actually makes you really sleepy. So I got back into the room, and my mom, my aunt, my boyfriend, his mom, his aunt, they were all in the room, and they were really trying to comfort me. But to be honest, most of you moms know it's really hard to have your baby be away from you when they're first born. You just want, when they come out, you want to put them on your chest. You just want to hold them. You don't want anybody to touch them, anything like that. You just want your baby. And everybody was just talking to me and asking me things, and I can't even tell you the answers that I gave them. I was tired but worried at the same time. I tried to stay up, but they wanted me to go to sleep. I couldn't feel anything from the waist down. And then maybe about an hour or two later, they come in and they tell me that she's good. They tell me her weight was 3 pounds, 12 ounces. And I was very happy that she was stable. They told me that she was stable, but they were still, keeping her under observation. She was small, especially for her gestational age. She should have been way bigger than 3 pounds at 36 weeks. So, so, that night, everybody went and got to see her. My boyfriend got to see her first. My mom, his aunt, my mom's best friend, everyone got to see her except for me. And that was like the hardest thing. Oh my goodness, I'm sitting here crying by myself. That was the hardest thing of my life. Like, just to see that everybody else got to hold, well, no one got to hold her, but everybody else got to touch her hands or see her or, hear her even make a little cry out at all. My boyfriend tried to FaceTime me on in the NICU, and they told him they can't do that. So he had to sneak a picture. I couldn't talk to him on the phone. I couldn't hear her. I couldn't let her hear me. He had to sneak a video so I can see that she's breathing, stuff like that. And it was really hard. Just think you're laying in a bed where you're basically paralyzed from the waist down and you can't see your baby. And that's really, really hard. I didn't think that, I didn't think I could do it. I really was ready to get up, but I couldn't move. I couldn't couldn't even make my feet move. So the doctor and the nurses, they tell me the most devastating news ever. They told me the most devastating news ever. They told me that I would not be able to see my baby for 24 hours because I had magnesium in my system. They told me I wouldn't be able to hold her, go and see her, none of that. And that hurt me. And my mom could tell, my boyfriend could tell. And it was like I felt so helpless. And so it took me a minute to actually go to sleep. Everybody else in the room was asleep before I was. And I was the one that came out of surgery under all of these drugs and things like that. And I still could not sleep. I think I went to sleep around 5 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up maybe at 7:30 in the morning. And I was just, I don't know. I just wanted to see my baby. And the reason why I know I woke up around 7:30 in the morning was because my nurse comes in and she introduces herself. Now, this was the best nurse ever. She comes in and she's talking to me, and by around 10 o'clock that day, she asked me, I was able to eat around that time too, so I got me some food and everything, and she comes in and she's just talking to me, and she asked me, have I seen her? Did I get to hold her? Anything like that? And I explained the whole situation to her, and she's just like, that's unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable. And so what she did for me was she went and got me a chair. She said, I'm going to see what we can do. I'm going to talk to your doctors and everything. We're going to see what we can do about this. So what she decides to do is, what she tells me is, this is around maybe 12 or 1 o'clock. She says, so in order for you to go and see her, you will have to make sure that you have a little bit feeling in your legs. And that way you can get out of the bed. Thankfully, by that time, I could actually move my legs and feel them and things like that. I was still a little numb, but not that much. I could still walk, but I still had the IV in me. So she told me I could not hold her, but I will be able to go and see her. So around 1 o'clock, I actually got to go and see my baby. earlier than expected. Mind you, she was born at 1:31 in the morning. I would have had to wait at least till 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning the next day to see my baby. Had this nurse, not asked and seen if I could go and see my baby. So I went in and I got to hold her hand and talk to her. And, she still didn't have her eyes open. She had a little mask on. And I'll show you pictures. And she was breathing. Had an oxygen flowing through her nose just to help her breathe a little bit. You could barely see her face. But you could hear a little cry. And when I went in, I got to hold her hand, and it was like she did this little cry. It was like she knew who I was, and that was like the best moment of my life. Like, I knew that being a mom was something, but hearing that first cry, that was like amazing. And I didn't want to leave. I did not want to leave. I was down there for about an hour. I didn't care if I couldn't hold her. I don't have anything to wipe my face. I didn't care if I couldn't hold her. It's late. I don't care. I didn't care if I couldn't hold her. I just wanted to hold her hand and see her. But because I was on the magnesium, my body started getting very weak, and I started to fall asleep while I was sitting there watching her. So they took me back to the room. And at this point, I didn't care about anything else. I was just so happy. All I could talk about was the fact that I got to see my baby, how beautiful she was, and things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much the labor and delivery story. Because of the condition I had, they had me under observation. And because I had a cesarean, it was kind of hard to walk, to move, to cough, to talk. So, yeah, it was like, that was like the hardest 2 days of my life. And after that, when I tell you, when you have a cesarean, they don't want you to go home or really walk around unless you first pee. It used to be if you had to poop, but it was the first pee. I tried so hard because they told me the next day, they said you can hold your baby, but you can't hold her if you're on this what did they say, the IV, or if I was on IV. They took the magnesium out because my blood pressure started to regulate a little bit. So I was good about that, but they were like, you can't have the IV and hold the baby. It'll make it uncomfortable for you. And she's over there asleep. That's what I was looking at. So what they told me was like, if you go ahead and pee, that means you're getting enough fluids in your body is rehydrated, and we can take the IV out of your arm. So about 30 minutes I tried to pee. And I finally did, and I finally went to see my baby, and I finally got to hold her. And when I tell you, oh my God, I did not want to leave. I stayed in her room for about an hour. My nurse had to come and find me. My nurse is I was in there. I went in on a Monday. I was there until Thursday. And Thursday I was discharged. And from Tuesday to Thursday. No, was it Thursday? It was either Thursday or Friday when I got out. Hi, Mama. Between Tuesday and Friday, I believe, I was down at her room, sitting there with her, waiting with her in my gown. My nurses had to call down and say, is Miss Smith in her room, in her baby's room? We need her to come down and take her medicine, all this stuff like that. And I was just, I was smitten. That's the word. But yeah, my little bundle of joy. So that is my labor and delivery story. I'm sorry for all the waterworks. It was it's something very emotional to talk about for me. But I hope you enjoyed the story, the inside scoop, and yeah. So I did want to go ahead and post a video today because I posted the prank video last week, and I wanted to make sure I did some content. Like I said, my computer is dead, so I won't be able to get my charger back until Thursday. Let me know what videos you guys want to see, and I will be posting another video really, really, really soon. I just wanted to make sure I got something up this week because I promised I would do one every week. And so I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.